watching CT22 with Eric Parker.
Welcome back. Last December, while serving as interim chief of New Haven's police department, the nomination of Renee Dominguez to become permanent chief was rejected by the city's Board of Alders. On September 19th, Dominguez started a new chapter in her career in law enforcement, joining the Watertown Police Department as deputy chief. Deputy Chief Renee Dominguez joins us this morning. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
We were just talking, the last time you and I were together, sort of, was on Zoom. Right when you had been nominated, it was back in December by Justin Ellicker down in New Haven to be the permanent chief. And I don't remember exactly how I worded it, but I said, you know, you're a local kid, you put your time in on the department, they say you're going to be the chief, and I asked you, what does it feel like? And then you didn't become that. So what was that like for you?
That was one of those times when you look back and you're like, well, this is a difficult moment. How am I going to now navigate through continuing to do my job? Because I stayed there for another, 6 months, wanting to make sure that I brought the best of myself every day to the men and women who were counting on me, regardless of, where my life was going to take me in terms of being the chief of New Haven. So it was a transition. It was, there was a lot of emotions, and it took a while to kind of work through, and then in the end, when I did retire, 6 months later, that kind of was all those emotions again, and kind of, it's not what you think it's going to be like in your mind. You have a path of how it's going to go, you have a plan, and then, best laid plans.
Yeah, and one of the things that I asked you about was the idea of, that little girl who grew up wanting to be a cop and then was going to become the chief. And do you think how it ended in New Haven has any message for the community or for other people who might be looking at your story, or is it just that politics affects, you too?
Yeah, so I think it's a lesson in how strong you are as a person and how you can persevere things that you didn't think you could, and what breaks you or doesn't break you is really a testament to yourself, to your support system, to everyone who supported you. You really find people who have your back. People come up to me now and say, we love you, people I don't know. So it's really been, it's been good and bad. It's a chapter that's closed that I didn't think was going to close. However, a new chapter opened, and it's about moving forward. And I have kids who need to be able to see that you don't always get everything that you thought you wanted. And it's a great lesson in life for even me at my age.
All right, enough about that.
Yes.
So you retire from New Haven, you walk out to a hero's goodbye, which was very cool to see. And,
yes.
and I know enough cops to know that that's a big deal.
Yes.
You now have this job in Watertown. What led you to that department?
There was a posting, and I put in, so I really originally started my career in Newtown, a small department, a family kind of department, really the same size. It's about 40 officers there. So to be having to make this jump to something new and something different, it was like, well, I did this. I really enjoyed when I was in Newtown, even though it was for a small amount of time, and let's see what a small town, returning to a small town will be. And I'll tell you, it's been wonderful. It's been absolutely wonderful, and everyone has been so welcoming, community, the police officers. So it's definitely, a drastic change from New Haven, but policing is policing. And the challenges that we see in Watertown are the same challenges that we see in New Haven and all around the state. It's just at a different magnitude and a different frequency.
And so if one of the officers, maybe a new officer in Watertown, were to talk to you about your time in New Haven, are there lessons you can bring from being a big city cop to being a smaller town cop?
Oh, absolutely. I think that, as I've only been there 2 months, it'll be 2 months, I think, tomorrow. But even in that time, it's kind of seeing what I was used to, what we did, how it's being done here. Some of the things are done so much better, so much more efficiently. And then there are other things that I think you can bring some of that, the city kind of mentality about processes and kind of transfer into a smaller town feel, but still make it work in a better way. So I do think that I bring a lot of experience, just having experienced so many types of incidents on such frequency to be able to give that knowledge.
On one level or another, whether it be someone out in the field or all the way up to interim chief, you've been a supervisor for a long time in your career. It's a tough time, I think, to be a cop, and is that something that you can see as you look back over the 20-plus years you've been in law enforcement? What's it like being a cop right now?
It's different. It's something that, through 22 years, it's been ebbs and flows of a lot of pieces of policing. Right now, we're coming off of change and reform, which is good. However, it can't always sustain where the feelings of the police are the enemy. And I do feel like we're seeing that where while things need to change and change needed to happen, and there has definitely been an avenue for change, there has also been a rebirth of community support. And I see that a lot in Watertown. After the 2 Bristol officers were killed, the community of Watertown fed that police department 3 meals a day, every day, for probably the week after. We had nothing to do with that, right? We're removed from that. However, it was the need for the community to say, we're supporting you, we're here for you, and it's really been statewide. And I think it's wonderful for the officers to see. It's wonderful for new officers who don't really have a comparison of a before and after kind of thing, and how you are still, it's an honorable position, you're still loved by your community, and you still are valued.
Just about 30 seconds left. I just want to ask you, what's it like recruiting new police officers now, whether what you saw in New Haven or just what you've heard in Watertown? Is it tough?
It's very tough. We're currently in a recruitment right now, and I'm finding it very difficult. It's one of the projects I'm spearheading, and to find even just one candidate that we're like, okay, this seems like a perfect fit has been difficult. And just the numbers who are coming out are not like it used to be. We're not seeing that the droves of individuals who want to be police officers. So we have some work to do as to how we can recruit better, and it's across the board. Big city, small town are having the same challenges.
And you have to find a way to kind of change that atmosphere.
Yes.
All right. Deputy Chief Renee Dominguez from Watertown, thank you very much for being with us on CT22.
Thank you for having me.